Scientists, adventurers, and explorers, as you know, have been blowing people's minds for centuries. Blowing people's minds.
Okay.
Your mind's been blown. They've also been a great source of inspiration to many, if not all of us. And I know, again, I know you have a explorer's heart.
I do. I'm sensing tone here. But
An adventurer's liver. And a scientist's, I don't know, spleen.
Other bit.
And I like them
Kneecaps.
in particularly when you don't have to get into too much detail. They just offer you quotes that are inspirational. So you can go, oh, yeah, that's a quote by.
So regardless of what you did, you can have a quote.
You don't have to think about
So you
what
say
they've
something
done.
pithy
Yeah.
and you can invade a whole continent, but say something pithy.
But the beauty of it is do invade the continent, but you don't have to read about that as long as there's a cool quote. You can be inspired by the invader.
I came, I saw, I conquered.
Exactly. Like the Italian mafia guy.
Vinny Vidi Vici.
Yeah, that's him. Vinny Vici.
Yeah.
The mafia guy. So like a lot of other people, I've been deeply moved by quotes of famous thinky-doers. For example,
Mhm.
that's one small step for brackets. Man, one giant leap for mankind. Neil Aloysius Armstrong.
Yeah, got the line wrong when you landed on the moon, but only a little bit wrong.
No pressure though.
No pressure at all. People aren't going to quote it for a little while. I do like, he only got it a bit wrong. But I can imagine it would suck grandly if you got it a lot wrong. Just
Seriously, at all. I reckon until his dying breath, he was like, fucking letter A. Another one. I have seen further. And if I have seen further, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants. Isaac Newton.
Yes. And it's Isaac Newton for the one time in his life being humble.
Yeah. And
He spent a lot of his
I
life
don't think he meant it.
not humble.
And we did episode, 17, Isaac Newton.
Detective.
The Forger Clatterer.
Yeah, he was a detective.
Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less.
So I can guess those first two, but I don't know who that one is.
It's a lady
Okay.
who scienced,
Okay.
and her name is Marie Curie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It would have been in French then.
Nothing in life is hard to understand.
That is French accent, not French. Actually, it probably would have been.
French do have French accents.
It actually probably would have been in Polish because she was Polish, not French.
Well, I don't know how to do that one. So she was French.
Yeah, she lived in France. She became of the French, but she was.
It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves.
Whoa.
Edmond Hillary.
Well, that's true because he was a mountain conquering guy.
Yeah, but he conquered himself.
He did both.
I think it's
He was
a
like,
euphemism.
he was like, it is not the mountain that you all conquer, but I conquered mountain.
No, I think it was a euphemism. I got to the top and I conquered myself.
No, he's saying.
Know what I'm saying?
You all participated in this. This is your victory of me climbing the mountain.
It's a masturbation joke. There's no question. That's what he meant.
I don't think it is.
Because in the end,
It was 1950s New Zealand. I don't think it was a masturbation joke.
what else do you think they did?
I climbed a mountain.
And
Climbed a mountain.
what about other?
Climbed a mountain.
What you doing, Edmond? Climbing a mountain, Mum. Climbing a mountain, Mum.
I'm happy with your dirty thoughts. I'm just not down with you. I just don't believe that you're near the top of Mount Everest.
And you're thinking, I want to rub one out.
I want to rub one out. I really don't. I think you're feeling sore and tired. And
So you might as well. So, because in the end, you won't remember the times you spent in the office or mowing your lawn, climb that goddamn mountain.
yeah, that's true.
Who?
Edmond Hillary again.
Yep.
It's about
Jack Kerouac, obviously.
famous
Beat author.
person driving in a car.
He wrote the book On the
Typing
Road.
out a book.
Have you read On the Road?
I have read On the Road. I enjoy it quite a lot.
I read the first half of On the Road and
And
then
you
I
stopped?
forgot.
You got the gist. Like the gist is clear.
Yeah.
Two dudes driving a car.
Yeah,
Tell some stories.
In berets. Yeah, beat. Before we go, boom. Anyway, look, these are obviously bloody fabulous quotes. I'm already feeling inspired. I don't even need food today now. But recently I found a human who eclipsed all these wannabes, these losers, these non-achievers.
Really?
Oh,
In quotes or in acts?
both. Well, particularly an act, but the quotes, he had a couple of goodies. So I finally, I didn't know what to do. I was thinking, what quote will encapsulate him? I had to do some reading, which I don't like, obviously. And I found one that I thought, this really is the one. So here we go. Something in many of us wants to burst and blossom at all times. And that if sometimes in a given lifetime a body doesn't go straight up in a lawn chair.
What? Okay.
He or she will get more and more constricted.
What? Okay. Straight up in a lawn chair?
Yeah. He or she will get more and more constricted and finally give up and live in that dull grey limbo and start buying term insurance.
Not an inspirational quote that I've heard before.
What?
Doesn't fit on a poster or a T-shirt or a sticker, but I could be inspired by it.
I assumed you would have known exactly who that was.
Someone who went straight up in a lawn chair?
Well, these are the immortal words of Larry Lawnchair Walters.
Listeners, viewers, welcome to The Wholesome Show, the podcast that goes elbow deep into the whole of science. My God, your entendres are getting really, that's...
I'm just warming up.
You got to have an entendre here, my darling.
It is. It could mean anything.
The Wholesome Show is me, Will Grant.
And me, Roderick Entendre Lamberts. Single entendre.
You got a lawn chair guy for me today.
Fuck, you've made me happy. The way your little face fell and I could see your mouth going, you've got to do it, mate, made me so happy.
It's what's called a single entendre.
Yes.
You know, there is the double entendre, du l'entendre.
There's entendre.
And there is the elusive triple entendre, but you have done just the single.
I think I'm close to the half entendre.
Half entendre.
It's more like an aunt.
I'm just saying something dirty.
Here is the aunt.
What is it? It's dirty.
What's dirty about it? That's not what I meant. It's a sports metaphor.
Elbow deep.
Sports metaphor.
It is not.
So have you ever had a dream, William? Have you ever had a dream that just wouldn't go away?
Do you mean every night I have the same dream? Or
No,
do you
I
mean
mean
like a vision, a progress, a thing I want to achieve?
Thing, what moves your heart?
Right, yeah. Achieve global podcast glory. Tell stories to our lovely people listening on the other end of this.
Yeah, that's laudable.
Give them ear hugs.
Ooh, are you doing it now?
I hope I am.
Are you ready?
Other than that, yes, I do, but they're secret. You can't know them.
So are they? You don't have to tell me exactly what they are, but are they dreams that, like, you don't care how crazy or dangerous they might sound to someone else, you've got to do them anyway?
Not really.
That's a shame.
I mean, it'd be cool if it was.
By the end of this episode, you're going to have one.
I want to be the first person to motorbike off every house.
In the world?
In the world. That's my dream. I do a motorbike jump off every house in the world. I haven't done any yet. But it's a dream. And
this is actually a veiled version of I Want to Live Forever because it would take you, I'm thinking, more than a couple of years.
Well, I just like the idea of a dream that is ludicrously impossible. So, and then no one blames you if you fail.
Oh, I'll blame you.
No, they'd say, okay, that was just a foolhardy dream.
Well, that's kind of blamey. Dumb dream, mate.
Yeah, dumb dream.
Dumb dream,
don't
mate.
Don't hate my dreams.
So you don't have a dream that's so core to your being that nothing will stop you realize it no matter what the obstacles yet. You don't.
Not quite.
Not quite. Well, Larry Walters sure as fuck did. And this year, July this year marks the 40th anniversary of him realizing that dream. July this year,
1982. Cast your mind back.
Hair was larger, so was shoes.
It was. Iron Maiden was on the radio.
Still are. How dare you? Which radio do you listen to?
They're not.
You listen to the wrong radio.
I probably do.
So who the hell is Larry Walters? I mean, I don't have to tell you. This is for the people listening on the other end.
Yeah, of course.
So he was born in 1949 in Los Angeles, California. And even as a very young fella, he always imagined himself one day becoming some kind of flying guy. He wanted to do the flying. It was his thing.
Okay.
So in an interview with one of the key sources I used for this episode, which is a New Yorker article by a fella called George Plimpton, a quote from Larry. When I was about 8 or 9, I was taken to Disneyland. The first thing when we walked in, there was a lady holding what seemed like a zillion Mickey Mouse balloons. And I went, wow, I know, that's when the idea developed.
Okay.
I mean, you get enough of those, they're going to lift you up.
So these are obviously your helium balloons. They're up in the air, not she's not dragging along a whole bunch of...
Or just trying to hold them all in the air.
Sort of
that would get exhausting, but good for the upper body.
it'd take a lot to be good for the upper body to
It would.
push a lot of balloons.
Good for 8-hour shift.
Yeah. So she's got a zillion Mickey Mouse balloons.
Zillion Mickey Mouse balloons.
And idea pops into Larry's
And he
head.
goes, wow, enough of those. You could lift me up. So when I was about 13, he goes on, I saw a weather balloon in the Army Navy surplus store, and I realized that was the way to go. I had to get some of those big suckers.
Okay.
All this time, I was experimenting with hydrogen gas,
Yes.
as a 13-year-old does.
Yes. He hadn't heard the stories of what happens when you put a lot of hydrogen gas in a balloon.
It goes.
It does.
So he's making his own hydrogen generators, and he was inflating little balloons.
Une petite balloon.
Yeah, petit, not un, multi. So what did he do with these balloons at the time? He says, I sent them up with notes in them that I'd written and attached. None of them ever came back. So he's hoping like message in a bottle.
What the hell?
People in Hollywood are monsters.
There are no people up there.
No.
Like I get message in a bottle, it will go to another island or something like that. But you put it on a balloon, it goes up.
Are you aware?
They come down.
Yeah, I didn't want to ruin it for you, but you knew that, so I didn't.
I was assuming the balloons just go to space. Do you remember I told you about that the moon mission? There's a couple of our earlier balloon episodes. One of them was where what is it, the 1830s, where there was a hoax where people thought people had gone to the moon in a balloon, which is, and people believed it because they didn't have a conception that the atmosphere stopped at some point. So,
or a conception of the atmosphere.
No, probably not.
Yeah. Simpler times.
Well, I mean, that's the
Not
thing.
better times.
Defined by its boundary, man.
Whoa, we're not. So he sent these off and he said, look, none of them came back. At Hollywood High School, he went to Hollywood High School.
No fucking way.
Fuck yeah, he did.
No, stop it.
In the 60s.
Stop it. Hollywood High School.
Hollywood High School in the 60s. Sounds like a
There's
shitty
like
movie.
Marlon Brando over there. There's
And
stunt tricks.
and the other star.
Oh my God.
And the one with the face.
Hollywood High School.
I know. Like it does sound like a B-grade movie, right? So he says, I did a science project on, in quotes, hydrogen and balloons. I got a D. Not
Really?
the Australian University version.
No, he didn't do well.
It's close to actually a fail, I think, in the American imperial
so.
system of grading.
So he got some hydrogen and some balloons. I assume he did some stuff.
Yeah, he probably put them together.
It's a bit brutal.
Yeah, Hollywood High School, man.
Do you know the details? Obviously, they were very science and tech focused.
I think the problem with Hollywood High School is if you're not pretty enough.
Oh, is that they're just marking on looks?
Of course. So he got a D. That wasn't great. He goes on to say, my mother was worried a lot, especially when I was making rocket fuel and it was always blowing up on me or catching fire.
I like that you haven't made good rocket fuel if it just catches fire
No.
and doesn't
No.
blow up. But it is better. It is better than the other option of blowing up on you.
Controlled burn first.
I know. I would take that. So
Yeah.
I can understand Mum's concern.
Well, he goes on and says, look, it's a good thing I never really got into rocketry or I'd probably shot myself off somewhere.
He's more genteel.
Yeah, he's a gentleman. You're right. You're right. Gentleman from Hollywood. So after high school, he wants to get into flying because, you know, he's into it. In 1967, he joins the Air Force.
Fair enough. That's obvious. Obviously,
Yeah.
1967, that was when the Air Force was about to go into balloons.
Yes.
So
They finally went, we're sick of jets.
Jets and bombers and things like that.
Yep,
Let's back to
balloons.
balloons. Back to balloons. Have a more civilized and genteel
Let's
Cold
do
War.
it the way the French did 250 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's how it works.
War balloons.
Just
There is the war balloon battalion. Napoleon had one.
yeah, exactly. There not is, was. And we're not talking 1967 was.
It could come back.
It should.
It might one day.
You know, we're bringing it back. So, turns out his eyesight wasn't good enough to be a pilot. So instead they made him a cook
Fuckers.
and then they sent him to Vietnam.
Ah,
So that's cool.
Yeah.
A lot of balloons in Vietnam. But he got through. He was fine. He got through Vietnam. He got discharged. He moves to San Pedro, California. And as one source puts it, he had to satisfy himself with watching jets fly over his backyard. Again, many euphemisms.
I'm not observing anything in that sentence.
There are no euphemisms for self-satisfaction.
He watched some jets go over his backyard.
Honestly, they're
and
probably
satisfied
worse
himself.
things, particularly if they're military jets. If you're lying there going, pretty sweet.
Oh, I always think, it's that scene in Wayne's World where they're lying, at the end of the runway,
Yep.
before the fence. So it's a sort of still public area. You can drive the car around there and you could just sit there and watch the jets go over. It's so cool.
And that's when Garth says,
I've never done that.
Did you ever find Bugs Bunny attractive when he was in women's clothing?
Did you?
And Wayne says, no. And Garth goes, me neither.
Obviously,
what do you mean, did I? Of course I did.
Find Bugs Bunny attractive in women's clothing.
Have you not looked?
Yeah, no, exactly. Bugs
those
Bunny.
Lips, those ears.
I am, red-blooded man.
Yes, you are.
So therefore,
I love me a lady rabbit.
Well, a man rabbit dressed up as a lady, but still.
I was going to get to that.
Exactly.
No, not dressed up. Identifying as.
Well, it's not clear.
So
I don't think they went into it in that.
Looney
detail.
Tunes were more ambiguous in the 1950s. So he was watching the jets. So he became a truck driver for a TV production company. He got himself a girlfriend, Carol Van Dusen.
He's not getting any closer to his career of balloonist extraordinaire.
Trucks are definitely not like flying.
It's not.
They're not.
It's not like he's inching his way closer up the mountain.
No, but TV
like
production
Hillary,
company.
Edmond Hillary. I assume he climbed some smaller mountains before Everest.
Well, he walked up the hill to the shops from his family home and thought, I can do the biggest one in the world.
He did more than that. Larry.
Above water. Never did the underwater ones that are bigger than Everest.
Up.
What a loser.
Shut up. So, everyone does them.
So he got himself his girlfriend, Carol. A reporter from the Miami News, this is later on after the event, describes Larry. He is the guy you barely know down the block washing his car on a dull Sunday afternoon. He's the guy you sit next to on the bus.
That's not a description. But
it is.
He's someone you don't know.
It's not a good description.
Who washes his car?
Joe Average. Joe Average. He's all the frustrateds, all the regimented, all the conformists.
Okay. All right.
And apparently he was basically the just about as average a blue-collar, hardworking American as anyone.
Okay. They all are until they're not.
Until they're not. He also especially enjoyed his lawn chair, which he bought from Sears Roebuck. He found it exceptionally comfortable. That's a direct quote. And it was good for relaxing, watching jets and passenger planes fly overhead on warm summer evenings.
So he is still doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
At this time.
Yeah.
In his, I think, 30s at this point. But, So like I said, he had a dream. Larry had a dream. And since he was 13, his dream was to fly sort of on his own, unhindered by walls and windows and pilots and planes, etc. On his own.
Look, in fairness, I don't count going on a commercial airline when you're sitting in a seat.
I fly. I know how to fly.
Exactly. It's not a super special occasion.
I'm a pilot.
You're not. You're in a plane, and it's not like you have flown. It's so I get it. I get it.
Don't you do that every time you get on a plane? I'm like the pilot.
I'm flying.
Where's my hat?
I'm flying.
Where's my hat?
Every time I go, I do. In Titanic, where Leo and Kate up the front of the boat, I do that up against the pilot's door because you're not allowed in the pilot's room. I'm just like
I'm the monarch of the world. So how is he going to do this? Obviously by balloon, or it turns out by balloons.
Yes.
Balloons. So his dream was starting to take shape now.
Okay.
He actually had something tangible. He was going from strategy to tactics.
Okay. He's seen a pathway that he can fly unhindered by walls or windows.
And people and stuff.
Yeah.
Engines.
Yeah. And lawn chairs.
Safety standards.
I want to include my friend Lawnchair in this plan.
Oh, he really did, because he decided he would attach weather balloons to his lawn chair, filled with helium, and go for a little flight. So the basic deal was something like float up to about 30 feet, drift, quote, lazily for a few hours over the Mojave Desert.
That'd be cool. 30 feet, 10 meters.
Fabulous.
In the new money, or whatever it is.
9.3.
It's enough that you can still chat to people.
Yes.
Like there's people below and you say, Gary, you should put pants on.
No, Gary, you should watch out for the endangered Mojave tortoise we talked about 2 episodes ago.
You should, Gary.
Yeah.
Or, Linda, your pool looks lovely. Can I come over for a swim later?
Fritz, your pool looks terrible. I think there's a human poo in it.
I'm sorry I put it there, but it'll come out later.
So he was going to float up, 30 odd feet, drift for a few hours, pop a few balloons, drift back down. I think that sounds fine.
It doesn't sound horrible.
No, it doesn't. It sounds, and he's in his lawn chair.
You could have a little ladder and climb down if you need to. If you're worried,
it's a long ladder. I have some ladders. None of them are 30 feet.
Roll out.
Do you have a 9-meter ladder?
A rope ladder.
After we finish recording, I want to see your 9-meter ladder.
No, but you can make one pretty easily.
Could I?
I wouldn't buy one because I don't need to get 9 meters in the height, but I could make I could make a 9-meter ladder. What do you think this is?
With shoelaces and a little bit of gumption. So, early in 1982, Lawnchair Larry gets to work.
Okay.
So in March of that year, he starts buying gear. He buys, it's going to take a lot, 42 weather balloons.
What are we talking weather balloon size? Give me a scale.
Oh, I'm going to get to that.
They're not. Okay,
I'm definitely going to get to that.
All right. So he's got 42 of them that you'll get to.
Yeah.
Hold on, listener. Don't worry.
Let's look at it this way. Not small as far as balloons are concerned. No. The reveal is much better. If I tell you now, you won't enjoy yourself. This way, you'll enjoy yourself and or be shocked and appalled.
Okay.
He bought helium tanks to fill them. And spoiler alert without the details, a fuckload of helium, like 42 weather balloons. It's not one canister of helium.
Is it not?
No. An altimeter.
Yes. How high am I?
Exactly. CB radio.
But surely if you're just, high enough that you're above a house, that's all you need.
But he's ex-military.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cook. And
you want to know where you get to. I get it. Okay.
So you get to CB radio, Citizens Band. That's for the youth who have never heard of them.
Is that what it stands for?
Citizens Band. It's a radio that we can all use.
I think Citizens Band would be a great name for like French.
An a cappella, boring shithead band who have ridiculously
No, I was going to go
morals.
like a French Revolution.
One or the other. Real Citizens Band.
Okay, French Revolution a cappella band.
Who have stupidly high Methodist-like values.
Yeah.
He also got a hand compass. I don't know why they said hand compass. A compass. A flashlight. Torch. Batteries. Medical kit. Because I may need to operate and remove my appendix while I'm 30 feet above the ground.
Could have been a snake bite.
Or a snake bite. Those flying snakes that wiggle,
Yep.
they can go up. Pocket knife. Packet of beef jerky. I bloody love jerky. I mean, I just have that on me anyway.
Energy dense. And if you're up there for a while, it's something nice to snack on in a lawn chair.
So nice.
Maybe it's what he had in the lawn chair anyway. But you wouldn't want to carry
yes.
like a couple of boxes of Wheat Bix or anything like that. That's too big.
That's it. Or like a Weber. He strapped a barbecue to it.
No,
he's
not
going
doing
to
that.
cook some pork. He had a road map of California.
You didn't want to go local area?
California's local. He lives in California.
I know.
Therefore,
I
local.
appreciate, but California is quite big.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's planning ahead here, but
Yes.
I would be going my equivalent suburb or something like that, just so I know where I am.
Well, I think his suburb was in the road map of California, but not well defined. A camera.
Yep.
2 liters of Coca-Cola.
Oh, Jesus. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
I'm sorry. You can like Coca-Cola. That's cool. But
You're about to extreme sport.
exactly. You're about to do your Edmond Hillary moment.
Yes.
Edmond Hillary did not carry 2 liters of Coca-Cola to the top of Mount
No, he
Everest.
did not. He carried oxygen.
Yeah.
Because that's better than Coke if you want to live.
And Tenzing Norgay obviously carried the
Edmund
Coca-Cola.
Hillary.
Yeah, and the Coca-Cola.
8 plastic bottles of water for ballast strapped to the chair.
Or drinking if you run out of Coca-Cola.
How long do you think he's going to be up there? Like 2 weeks.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying that
30 feet, drift over the Mojave.
does he have a toilet?
Kind of. Lawn chairs are slatted. And he knows how to remove his trouser.
Oh, my goodness.
Also,
This is why it's in the pool. There was the poo in the pool.
Exactly.
This is why Gladys had it in her poo.
no, it was Fritz. He only shits on men's pools. Also, BB gun for shooting out balloons when he wants to come down.
You could probably just cut the string.
Depends how they're attached. I will show you a photo later.
Oh, are they bolted on with metal?
There's
Because metal's heavy.
No, there's literally only one string he could cut, and that's
Oh, okay.
all the balloons.
I'm seeing problem. I thought he did engineering.
No, he didn't do engineering. He thought about it.
All I'm thinking is one point of weakness.
Yeah.
It's not sensible. All right. Okay.
So he used strong rope. And some sources, at least in the last minute, suggested he added a 6-pack of Miller Lite because light's not too heavy.
What are you doing?
So he spent something like $3,000 to $4,000 at the Army Navy surplus store to get all the gear.
That is obviously $10 million
In today's money, definitely.
or a fancy house in Amsterdam or something like that.
Maybe 2.
In today's money.
Exactly.
Who could convert these numbers?
It'd be impossible. So then his girlfriend Carol chimes in and says, look, this could get a bit dangerous. Why don't you get a parachute?
Nice.
It seems to me, reading between the lines, he was not super impressed with this because he was only planning to go about 30 feet. And it's not really great to undo your parachute at 30 feet.
No, that's too
And
much.
when you hit the ground, the parachute is maybe just out of the backpack.
But he's got backup there in case he has
Your ladder that you've donated to him.
exactly, or a Coke emergency, or
Yeah.
he's Why not put parachute in as a bit more of a backup?
Might as well. So he did because he didn't want to upset Carol.
Can you just buy parachutes?
He did. So his mother also at the time, I'll get to that, his mother thought he maybe should see a shrink right now because either he has PTSD.
I think Larry, this is not good.
My friend, my boy, she thinks either he has PTSD or literally may have been possessed by Satan. Well, it's one or the other.
That's the two things.
That's why you see a psychiatrist.
I like that she's gone super modern language, PTSD.
Yeah. That's not the word she used, but that's what I transliterate.
Shell shock. Okay, something like that. Oh my God, or possessed by Satan.
Or possessed by Satan.
It's very 80s. It's very 80s, though, of a mother to be thinking, you might be possessed by Satan.
I got it. Was it the war or was it because he had some cooking emergency?
The Satan.
So
just slow down here. I mean, just if Satan has possessed your son, do you think the hallmarks might be buying a lot of weather balloons?
Yes.
And concocting a plan to float genteelly above the neighborhood? Because I'm sure when Satan comes back, like he's Beelzebub and he's like, I'm going to rule the world. And he's got, I don't think a lawn chair floating gradually across California is the way he's going to do it.
No one would suspect it.
No.
Satan is subtle. Have you not seen The Devil's Advocate?
Believe me.
Sneaks in.
Believe me, I would love the. No, see, I'm thinking a full on like demon looking guy. Like he's got the horns, he's got
Park
muscles.
Fire and
that guy,
bang Saddam Hussein.
He's got cock out all the time.
Yeah,
floating in a lawn chair above the California suburbs. Like that is.
And the only complaint, I could see a penis. Very disappointed. Someone should do something about that. So anyway, he wants to keep the peace with his girlfriend and his mother. So he goes off to flight school and he does a parachute jump because, you got to learn. And then
was it from 30 feet or higher?
I think it was higher.
Okay.
I think rules-wise.
But it's the same principle.
Same principle.
Jump, open parachute, land.
Count to 20, open parachute. It'll be true though. 1 elephant, 2 elephant, smush.
I don't think you get to 2 elephant.
From 30 feet? No, you probably don't. So he goes off and does this, and then after the one jump, he buys a parachute. He buys his own chute for $900 US, 1982.
I don't want to buy a cheap parachute. It's one of those things where I haven't actually bought a parachute ever, but there is no point where you look at the range of parachutes. There's like the $900 one, and there's the ritzy $1,200 one,
and there's a $45.
I am not buying the $45.
Slightly pre-used.
I'm sorry, no $45. You go to those $2 shops and you go and parachute. Like, I'm sorry, not happening.
I was just wondering, do you have any parachutes? We do, because they're up the back near the cleaning products.
Because I need to jump out of a plane, but I don't want to spend a lot of money on that bit of safety.
No, you don't, because the plane ticket alone.
Like, why bother? So, yeah.
So he buys a $900 parachute, which I think in today's dollars is probably about $40 billion.
Again, a fancy house on an Amsterdam canal.
Exactly. So the chair itself, because I haven't described the chair, it was an ordinary lawn chair. It had waffle iron webbing in the seat. It's waffled, like you got a lattice work of stuff. I don't know why.
So weaved, not waffled.
Waffle iron. I'm quoting the New Yorker.
Okay.
Tubular aluminium armrests.
Yes.
And as Larry put it, a darn sturdy little chair. Cost me $109.
Are we talking? Is this one of the a recliner type chair?
Yeah.
Or is it sit up type chair?
Here you go. Looks like that, or it looked like that eventually.
Okay, so
there's some bits on it.
You're sitting up straight.
Yeah.
This is not lying back and having a nap. You're not napping in that.
We would call it garden furniture, not lawn chair.
No, I got that. I mean, I got that translation.
It's upright.
Yeah.
So he said it cost him $109, which is not inconsiderable.
Everything was more expensive back then.
It was, because Reagan. And like I said, it was from Sears Roebuck. And he said afterwards his mother was so impressed with how sturdy they were, she went and bought 2 because they were on sale. From Satan. So he was focused. Larry was focused. He had all the gear, and most importantly, no one was trying to stop him. That's my interpretation. But so it was time to pick a launch site.
His house?
No. I actually don't know what his house was like. So the New Yorker guy interviews a bunch of people, Carol, Larry, and Carol's mother, aka Mrs. Van Dusen.
They're all participants in the story.
They really are. So Carol's mother says, 2 weeks before, Larry came to me and he said he was going to take off from my backyard. She says, this is her quote, I said, no way, illegal. I don't want to be stuck with a big fine. What's the fine? So the idea was he was going to take off from the desert. He couldn't get all his equipment there, so she says this, pulls a sneaker on me. Now, when I first read that, I imagined him taking off his shoe and beating her with it, but that's not what she meant.
I didn't imagine that.
Pulls a sneaker on me.
No, pulls a sneaker.
What are you going to do now?
I thought pulls a sneaker was actually a euphemism for that, not very nice thing to do with the condom.
Oh, stealthy.
Yeah, that's it.
Not conquering the mountain. None of those things. So he turns up at a house and says, tomorrow I'm going to take off from your backyard.
Oh, that's right.
But this is, girlfriend.
He might live in an apartment. His mum lives in a...
No, he had a lawn chair apartment. Oh, it could be.
You can have a lawn chair on the balcony.
Communal lawn.
You can't take off from a balcony. You got to go straight up.
You hit your head.
All right.
Oh, so maybe there's a communal lawn. Anyway, so Carol is, of course, totally freaked out. And she says she wanted to go with him.
Yes. Thank you, Mum. Thank you,
Carol,
Mum.
this is the daughter. This is the girlfriend.
The girlfriend. Yeah. Okay.
She says, no, I want to go with him because she figured he'd be less dumb if she was there.
She wants to be part of the mission. That sounds cool.
She's worried to be dumb. So the journo says to her, the New Yorker journo says, so what were you going to do, sit on her lap? And she says, no, 2 chairs, side by side.
It's not hard.
2 chairs.
It's not hard to
2 lawn chairs.
Has anyone done any calculations at this point? Has anyone sat down and done some maths?
Look, we're going to get to that. There were some calculations.
Because you can work all these things out.
Mm-hmm.
Can you carry girlfriend? Can you carry your mother?
And you look up on the internet.
With his mother and his girlfriend.
You look up on 1982 internet, how much does a girlfriend weigh? There are standard units of measurement.
Were there back then?
Imperial in the US. So she says, no, not sit on his lap, you duffer, side by side. But it meant more equipment than we had. And she goes on, I know one thing, that if I'd gone up with him, he would have come down sooner.
Well, yes. Possibly.
Whatever. So launch day is set. July 2, 1982. The day before, he turns up at Mrs. Van Dusen's house.
You don't want to do like 4th of July. You're that close anyway, you might as well.
He doesn't want to ruin America.
But it might have been a nice day to do it.
What if he distracted from America?
Like you got the Gettysburg Address, you got Independence Day. Yeah, do all that.
You got lobsters in Maine.
Do it on a good day.
Buffalo.
Everyone's got the day off. It might be a work day, July 2.
It might be, but not for Laz. Not for Larry. So the day before, July 1st, he heads to Mrs. Van Dusen's house with his 42 balloons.
That you're not telling me the size of.
Oh, we're getting there.
And his many helium tanks.
55 cylinders of helium.
Nice.
Just giving you a hint about how big the balloons are.
Nice.
55 cylinders. A cylinder is not something you can fit in your pocket.
So we're talking big, tall scuba tank thing?
Yeah, 9.5 meters tall. Give or take. Give
the listener a picture.
Look, they're large enough that it'd be a struggle to lift one in one hand.
Okay.
Not so large that you would need a crane.
There you go. Thank you.
So I'm gonna go between not tiny and not humongous.
He's just not a visual thinker. Like
I know I am, but I'm not a sharer. I'm not a visual sharer. So he has enough nylon cable to arrange these balloons in 6 tiers.
Yes.
Which would extend ultimately to 180 feet, nearly 55 meters of tiers of balloons.
So you know the thing that he's doing that is different from
any sane human?
No. Like from a regular hot air balloonist or helium balloonist.
Is everything.
No, it's just that I'm doing it with a chair, you have a basket, and I have lots, you have one. Like other than that.
Oh, and I'm going to descend by blowing up shit.
All right.
I'm not going to just take some air out. I am going to take air out, but I'm going to do it more dramatically.
Yeah, okay.
So at twilight on launch eve.
He's just leaning into the amateur. That's what he's doing.
Oh, fuck is he leaning into the
like
amateur?
He's saying, in no way will I make any of this professional.
Nothing.
Because there are professional hot air balloonists in 1982. Yeah. They've done all of this before.
Absolutely.
And they have, but he's like, I'll invent the dumb way to do it.
He's literally none of them.
That's so it's like saying I'm going to be Edmond Hillary, sure, first person to climb to top of Mount Everest.
Yeah.
I'll be the first person to climb the dumb way.
Yeah,
and it's like
I'm going to do it naked on my hands with no food.
That's not a feat.
I'm going to poke one of my eyes out. I'm going to get someone to slap me the whole time.
Not a feat.
And not only am I not going to have oxygen, I'm going to get a machine that sucks the air out of my lungs.
Not a feat. Not a feat.
It would be
just
if you got
to do
there.
the same thing but dumber.
That would be a feat. You know it is.
Look, actually, no. That
would be
well,
quite
no.
impressive.
There was like the first person to climb to top of Mount Everest without oxygen. Yeah, that's a
Dude
thing.
who died?
No, you made it fine.
The dude who lived?
The dude who lived. What a
I remember them. So yeah, he's got a lot of nylon cables to arrange these balloons. So we're talking a colossal structure here.
How big are we talking? Like, is it what's
Look, it won't ruin the story, but that's a photo of what it ended up looking like.
Oh no, they're a long way apart.
They
Okay,
are. Like,
so
here's a dot. Here's a tiny dot.
Oh, I feel sorry for him already.
I have no idea what the angle of that photo was.
So listen, we've got it's a dot in a chair with a tier of balloons, like maybe 5 meters above him, and then a tier of balloons, another 5 meters, and then like a big gap, and then 20 to 30 meters above that, some more balloons and some more balloons. And I can already feel the thrust of those balloons is a lot more than the weight of that guy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm panicking for you already, dude.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. It actually went it actually failed. That photo was taken and airbrushed with 1982 PowerPoint.
No. But I love, it's the natural instinct.
Yeah.
You're like, first time, I've got to build a bridge and there's going to be traffic going across here, so I'm going to over-engineer.
What I need is all the concrete in Christendom.
It won't be a bridge. It will just be concrete all the way through. And I can understand that instinct. And that's fine because, okay, the bridge might cause some problems.
It might.
Environmental problems or whatever.
Might.
But in this scenario, there is definite downsides for going too far.
Let's be clear. He did a lot of, he worked it out. He worked it out.
Did he?
Yep. He worked it out. Didn't work it out well.
That's not working it out.
So launch eve, he and Carol and I think a buddy or two started inflating balloons.
I thought okay.
Launch eve, not the day, launch eve, 1st of July.
Yeah. At
about midnight, a couple of deputy sheriffs pop their heads up over the wall and go, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm paraphrasing. He said, "Oh, we're getting ready to shoot a commercial," because remember he drives a truck for a TV company. So he's like, "We're shooting a commercial. We're shooting a commercial."
Why not just be honest? I'm having fun.
I'm just blowing up balloons.
Like there is no crime. What is committed?
I'm blowing up balloons.
Yeah. Why do you have to lie about this?
Some bugger feels guilty already.
Fuck me. He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like it's his mum thinking he's Satan.
Or affected by the war.
Like what is illegal about this? Anyway, you'll tell me.
We'll get to that. So they said, no worries. The sun came up the next morning and apparently a lot of police cars driving past would slow down and have a look because this thing was 150 feet high. So the morning winds on. Larry's getting ready to rock. He's ready to rock. It's on. Then someone says to him, wait a minute, what if the wind gets weird, blows you in an unexpected direction, you get blown out to sea?
Very fast. Very fast.
So there's a delay as his buddy runs off and buys him a life jacket.
I was thinking some sort of little propeller.
Life jacket.
Where
assume you're going to crash into the ocean.
I was thinking a propeller, you can control yourself. And he's thinking, you're going to go a long way out to sea. So, all right.
If the wind blows the wrong way. So he buggers off, takes about 45 minutes, comes back with a life jacket. Larry says, cheers.
This is bad.
So mid-morning, the time has come. It's on. The balloons are strapped to the lawn chair. The lawn chair is anchored to a rope and there's a tether attached to a car. Most sources say Larry's Jeep. One source says some ancient Chevrolet Bonneville, but attached to a car.
I won't. If it's the Chevrolet, I don't care.
No.
It's the Jeep, I'll listen more.
Exactly, like a normal person.
Like I will quit at this point if it's a Chevrolet.
Chevrolet, fuck you. Tips table, leaves. So anchor and tether. So Larry climbs into the chair when it's about and then goes to about 6 feet off the ground, just sees how it feels. He's ready to rock. So the plan was he would cut the anchor, release the anchor, float lazily up to about 30 feet above the backyard. And some sources say maybe 100, 30 to 100.
Again, did he do the calculations? Or is he just saying, I feel like about 30 feet is what will happen?
He totally instinct.
You know
Instinct.
You know you can work these things out. Like you can.
I don't think you should be blaming me for this.
I'm blaming Larry here. I'm just thinking, Larry,
Laz, mate, bro,
do some numbers.
champ. So he's going to float. This is a quote: lazily float to a height of about 30 feet above the backyard, and some sources say maybe 100. So it's a bit ambiguous.
What he was thinking. Yeah.
Get his bearings, then cut the tether. So you've done the anchor, you cut the tether, you spend a couple of hours wafting over the Mojave and drift to Earth after you've shot a few balloons out with your BB gun.
Yeah, just gradually come down.
Absolutely normal. So Larry's there. He cuts the anchoring cord.
Okay.
How you doing? Have you taken your blood pressure?
Oh, look, I applaud so much the vision of doing this and following through because a lot of people, a lot of, let's say, us suburban idiots of the world.
That's what we should call ourselves.
Well, look, Larry is definitely a suburban idiot, and I count myself as a suburban idiot, and
you should.
I don't want to claim for you, but yes, suburban idiots of the world, we have visions and dreams.
We do,
and
we do.
You know what's nice when people actually follow through on their stupid suburban visions.
That's one of Larry's quotes. Follow through. He just cut the anchoring cord. So he had been planning meticulously.
Except for.
But
yeah,
it seems he didn't pay very close attention to how much lift he'd need to float.
That is one of the crucial things.
So you're asking about the size of the balloons.
That is one of the only things.
You're not one of the.
He's got beef jerky.
Yep.
So he literally
maybe some beers.
He literally spent 45 minutes going to a shop and getting beef jerky and beer. He could have spent that 45 minutes working out the amount of lift that you need.
On his Casio wristwatch calculator.
I don't care. Yes, on that, it wouldn't have been.
So, like I said, he had 42 balloons. So each one gets to up to...
It's not unknown. Like, it's 1982. Like
maths is not unknown.
It's not.
I feel like Pascal had been around for quite some time.
Gravity, very much known.
Yeah.
The lift of a helium balloon, very much known. Like, these things you can find and you can... I'm so worried for you at this moment, Larry, and I just wish you'd done maths.
He had 42 balloons. Each was... It could lift roughly once full 5.5 kilos.
Okay, so there you go.
So he's got a lift capacity of just south of 250 kilos.
How much does he weigh plus the
Less than 250 kilos.
Yeah, okay.
So he cuts the anchor cord and the Lawnchair, which now is being called by Larry Inspiration. So this whole rig has got a name. It's the Inspiration.
Yeah.
It did not level off at 30 feet.
No.
It did not level off at 100 feet. The tether rope snapped. And this is a quote, streaked into the LA sky as if shot from a cannon. And other sources use words like catapult and slingshot. So it's pretty quick.
Is he strapped into the chair?
No.
Or he is just sitting there holding on?
No, I'll bring this up early. He didn't have a safety belt because, as he put it to someone who asked, the chair was tilted back at about 10 degrees, so I'm going to Australianise this. She'll be right, mate.
So rah. Look, sure. You didn't want to also calculate maybe if the chair might swing, because previously the chair was sitting on the ground. And
swinging won't be an issue. So the chair pitched forward so violently.
Oh, my God.
That his glasses flew off.
Oh, well, okay.
And some of his equipment.
Was he a big glasses guy?
I think he needed them to see.
Well, it wasn't like, are they reading glasses?
Not Sonny's.
Okay.
Not his Ray-Ban aviators. And if Ray-Ban, you're listening, give us a call. But he had a CB radio with him, so he starts talking to Carol. And the New Yorker journo listened to the tapes of the conversation.
And an altimeter. Surely, no matter what you're rocketing,
he did
you're
still
like,
have that.
I'm fucking glad I got the altimeter because I know how high I am, and that's cool. I might as well report on the cool bit of this.
He's going to know that. So he's talking to Carol on the CB. So this is the quote from the New Yorker. Carol's voice rises in anguish. Larry, come down. You've got to come down if you can't see. Come down. Larry reports back that he has a backup pair of glasses. His voice is calm.
Okay.
Reassuring. I'm A-OK. I'm going through a dense fog layer. I'm calling cataracts.
Or cloud.
Or cloud. Carol, oh God, keep talking, Larry. We've got airplanes. They can't see you. You're heading for the ocean. You're going to have to come down.
This is the most. I'm sure. given I've never been on that side of the relationship, I'm sure this is the intense girlfriend experience from the girlfriend side. Like, oh my God, my boyfriend is just idiot. So fucking dumb.
You don't understand, sweetheart. I have to do this.
So boys out there, just take heart. Take heart.
Yeah.
There is a long gulf before you are the stupidest boy.
That's true.
There is a long gulf.
But don't stop trying.
No. Do something cool.
Larry reaches 2,500 feet, so more than 750 meters. So far.
If you fall out of a chair at 750 meters, is that an easy?
Yeah, what you do is you spread your arms out and your legs so you maximize surface area.
Like a cat?
Grab the bottom of your shirt.
Yep.
And pull it out.
Yep.
Because that's wind resistance.
Yeah.
Larry's got a parachute.
But at least he can use the parachute at 750
He's got a parachute.
meters.
So it's more than 750 meters. Carol says, Larry, everybody down here says to cut them and get down now. Cut your balloons, come down now.
He can't cut him, he's got to shoot him.
Come down, please.
Because it's one string. As you said to me before, I've got that in my head.
It will be quick.
It's too quick.
Yeah.
That is too quick. Cutting them is far too quick. You got to shoot him.
Yeah.
Shoot him, Larry.
Shoot him, Larry. That's what they should have called him. Not Lawnchair, Larry. Shoot him, Larry.
Still, but.
So the journo says, because he's talking to Larry, how did he feel about Carol's pleading? He says, look, I wasn't going to hassle with her, as in, get all ruckus, because no way in heck, after all this, my life, the money we'd sunk into the thing, and just come down. No way in heck I was just going to come down. I was just going to have a good time up there.
Hey, that's fair enough.
The higher I went, the more I could see, and it was awesome. Sitting in this little chair, and I could see, wow, man, unreal. I could see the orange funnels of the Queen Mary.
What?
I don't know.
Is it a cruise ship or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Queen Mary 2 got launched a while ago.
Yeah, a long one. I could see the big seaplane of Howard Hughes, the Spruce Goose.
Fuck yeah.
2 commercial tugs.
He's literally still there.
Was then, apparently.
He could see the Spruce Goose.
Or he was hallucinating, but I gather it was real. Then the higher up, I could see oil tankers at the naval station like little dots. At one point, I love this, I caught sight of a little private plane below me. I could hear the buzz of its propeller. I had this camera, but I didn't want to take pictures. This was personal. I just wanted the memory that was vivid enough. So he took no photos.
He was up there.
So
we know he is up there.
Oh.
He took no photos.
Believe me, there'll be some verification.
That's odd.
I think he was just off his face on it.
No, look, maybe it's coming from this era when everyone is taking photos all the time. It's so odd to have someone. No, but he's got a camera. Have a camera and choose not to take the photos.
But I think you're right. We don't think about it. Like I think about pre-camera phone and now. I have fuck all photos. And at the time I remember thinking, I've got a memory. I didn't need photographs. And now I'm thinking, you idiot. Take some photos.
You don't have a memory.
No. I remember I didn't take photos. Larry goes on. When I got to 15,000 feet, about 4.5 Ks.
At some point it starts to get cold as well.
Yeah, we'll get to that. The air was getting thin. Enough of the ride, I thought. I'd better go into a descent.
Yeah, that's cool. Smart choice, Larry.
Exactly. Larry's not an idiot. He's not an idiot. He's adventurous, not a clown.
Yes, and
adventurous clown.
Yes, a bit of an idiot.
Yeah, a lot. I figured I needed to pop 7 of the balloons. So I took out the air pistol, pointed up, and I went, quote, pow, 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 pow. Pow? Was that 7? I don't know. And the balloons made these lovely little bangs like a muffled pop. They fell down and dangled below my chair.
Okay. Because I was worried for a second that he hadn't.
Where did they go?
No. I was literally worried that he hadn't tested the power of the BB gun against the skin of the weather balloon.
So this is a good point you bring up because he had not. And so that could have all gone tits up.
He really could have
straight off.
He could. I mean, BB gun is not exactly a powerful gun.
No, they're not. No. So.
Why 7 all at once? Why not,
because he calculated it.
Level out and do one at a time.
He did the maths. He's not an idiot. Are you calling Larry an idiot?
No.
Lawnchair, not idiot Larry. I put the gun in my lap to check the altimeter. Then this gust of wind came, blew me sideways, the chair tilted forward, and the gun fell out of my lap. To this day, he says, I can see it falling, getting smaller and smaller.
See, you don't need a camera. when it's trauma involved.
Oh, the trauma. There goes my descent mechanism.
Do you know, I can visualize that for him right now.
I can too. Does it make your balls a little bit sore? From the height thing?
I get the sweaty palms. Like instantly, it's just.
I get the balls in the throat. They go straight up. This is a man thing. Sorry, ladies listening, but it's what happened to men at heights.
I'm sure there's an ovaries thing as well.
I bet there is.
But it's just the vividness of that memory. You know how much his brain chiseled that moment into. That's it. Oh, well.
I am royally bonked. So he says, also, I hope there was no one standing down there because he's worried it would hit someone, but apparently
That's good,
it didn't.
Larry.
Apparently it didn't. So he goes on, you've done it now. Why didn't you tie it on? He's saying to himself. I had backups for everything. I had backup BBs in case I ran out, backup CO2 cylinders for the gun, for the BB gun. It never dawned on me I'd lose the gun itself. So by this point, a couple of commercial pilots have spotted him because he's high enough to be spotted by commercial pilots. They alerted air traffic controllers. I love this quote. What appeared to be an unprotected man floating through the sky in a chair. And you can imagine calling that in. This is Delta Flight 9734. We can see a dude in a chair. I think it's a lawn chair floating on balloons. They're like, dude, land now.
Oh, my God.
You drug-fucked idiot.
Oh, my God.
So Larry goes on. The temperature at 2 miles up, you brought this up, is about 5 to 10 degrees. That's Fahrenheit, which is what, minus 800.
I don't have a good conversion in my head, but that's cold.
I think 0 Fahrenheit and 0 Celsius are the same, right?
No, minus 40 and minus 40 are the same.
That's what I meant.
So 0 Fahrenheit is a fair bit colder than 0 Celsius.
5 to 10 degrees.
Yeah, so 5 to 10 is very cold.
It's not warm.
Like I think you're talking minus 10 or something like that.
So he goes on, my toes got numb, but then the helium started to leak and I gradually started to descend. I knew I was going to have to land since I didn't have the pistol to regulate my altitude. So he gets to 13,000 feet. This is dropping.
Okay, so he is dropping. That's all right.
He's dropping.
I was worried that you.
No, he's not an idiot. He calls in a mayday on his CB radio. So he's trying to reach this mob called the Radio Emergency Association Communication Team, REACT, in an area of California. He wants them to warn the local air traffic control that he is there in flight paths.
And the thing is, even in this, he's just going to land somewhere.
Yes.
It's just somewhere.
At one velocity or another.
with no control.
Yeah. Well, you don't know that. So his call also got picked up by the Orange County CB Radio Club. So he's trying to talk to these official people, but the CB radio's like, dude, man, have I got a call for you. And the quote from this guy is, the guy broke into our channel with a mayday. He said he'd shot up like an elevator to 16,000 feet and was getting numb. He sounded worried, but he wasn't panicked. So some snippets from the conversation, because this is all recorded by REACT, the actual radio emergency people. REACT. What information do you wish me to tell them, the air traffic control people, at this time, as to your location and your difficulty? And Larry's words are basically, look, tell them I'm here in their way and blah, blah, blah. The operator then says, what airport did you take up from?
Of course.
Crickets from Larry, nothing.
Well, it's not a helpful question. Like, it doesn't matter.
We can understand why they'd ask, because that might help them plot where he is and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Like someone is trapped at the top of a mountain. It doesn't matter what town they left from.
Yeah, where was your last night in a hotel?
Someone's bitten by a shark.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, what they were swimming before.
Have you had lunch?
Exactly. Like,
We're worried you might get a cramp as well.
Keep it to relevant.
Yeah. So this operator keeps asking, where did you take off from? Finally, Larry says, my point of departure was 1633 West 7th Street, San Pedro, his mother-in-law's house, or his girlfriend-in-law's. The operator says, say again, what's the name of the airport? Could you please repeat? And he says, look, the difficulty is this is an unauthorized balloon launch. I know I'm interfering with general airspace.
I'm sorry.
I know, like, whoopsie. I'm sure my ground crew has alerted the proper authorities, ground crew, his buddies, 3 drunk guys. But could you just call them, the ATC people, the air traffic people, and tell them I'm okay, and my ground crew, tell them I'm okay. So then a ground control official breaks in on another frequency and wants to know the color of the balloons.
Oh, that matters.
I know.
Because there's another guy with yellow balloons over there.
Yeah, fuck that,
Are you the blue balloon guy?
Yeah. Also, are they ugly? Do they clash? So he breaks in. The response is that the balloons are beige in color. I'm in bright blue sky. They should be highly visible. They're about 7 feet in diameter. I probably have 35 left. Over. The official. Did you say you have a cluster of 35 balloons? Apparently, according to this source, his voice squeaks over the static. Did you say you have?
Look, let's assume the radio guy, it's going to take a while to process all of this.
Did I hear that right?
He's normally thinking he's hearing from a plane guy.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a while to get into his brain properly.
Yeah. So he's like, Larry says again, there are 35 weather balloons, not one single balloon, sir. It's 35 weather balloons. So now Larry's descending. That's just snippets. There's lots and lots of stuff. At about 2,000 feet, Inspiration, his craft, starts to drop too fast.
His chair.
His chair. And balloons.
No.
The balloons are part of the craft.
No, the craft is the chair.
It's just the, what is it, the canopy, the cockpit. Starts to go too fast. So Lawnchair Larry slashes all the bottles, all the water-filled bottles, the ballast.
Oh, okay.
Every damn one.
Slow your descent.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do things gradually.
No, that's not
Pop
not how
one
he
balloon,
rolls. Not how
drop
he rolls.
one bottle.
8 bottles, 7 balloons, boom. About 35 gallons, which is about 140 litres, just all piss out.
That's 140 kilos straight away.
Yeah, gone.
No, dude.
Yeah.
No. Oh.
He's a man of action. This is a man who sees a situation and acts.
He does.
Quote from Larry, I looked down at the ground, getting closer and closer. About 300 feet, and Lord, the water's all gone, right? I could see the rooftops coming up and then the power lines.
Mm-hmm.
So one of Larry's ground crew at this point freaks the fuck out and calls 911. I think it's a bit like, do that earlier.
What are you calling them for? We've got a thing.
Give me a minute.
Something's going to happen soon.
So this stuff has happened.
Yeah, well, no, not happened. It's happening.
Stuff is happening.
It will we'll know what service we need in the end, whether it's ambulance, fire, or police.
Could you bring all of them?
Or just it will be one of them. Will be one of them. Not sure which yet.
For now, can you bring all of them? And if there are any we haven't even heard of, bring some of them too. So the police tell the power company to kill the electricity in the area, which blacks out a fair part of a number of suburbs and local businesses for 20 minutes or more. And it looks like Larry's landing is going to be very bad.
Abrupt. He's coming in really fast.
Abrupt. It's not the fall that kills you, it's the stopping. But then, luckily for him, his craft gets tangled in the now down-powered high voltage lines. So yay.
Cool.
And he lands near some dude's house. And this guy apparently was, and this is quoting Larry again, he's reading his morning paper on a chaise lounge near his swimming pool.
Mm.
And he's looking at the guy's face, and the guy looks up and he hears a noise as I scraped across his roof. The guy looks up and he sees this pair of boots and a chair floating right over him under the power lines. And Larry says, he sat there mesmerized just looking at me. After about 15 seconds, he got out of his chair and he says, hey, do you need help?
Look.
Man of action.
I very much appreciate it takes a moment to process these things. And
it really would. Can you imagine you look up, you're reading your paper and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, that's I ain't no dumb guy, but that's the thing.
Whoa.
Am I gonna maybe you do need help.
First, is this real?
Yes.
Second,
do I care? Does it affect me? Should I help? And he got to the right place. He got to the right place. I think not rushing him is fine.
I have no beef with it. And it turns out apparently he was a airline pilot on his day off as well.
Sure.
So he's a fly guy.
Yeah, but it doesn't make you more equipped to deal with a dude coming down
they're
on a
great.
lawnchair.
They're great in a crisis.
No, but I'm sure
in an airborne crisis.
Day 14 of commercial airline pilot training is when dudes in a lawn chair come down off balloons.
Land on your roof while you're on your chaise lounge.
It'd be a waste of the day, but sure.
So Larry says about the landing, I can't say I was afraid or anything. The part that was scary was the last 300 feet with the rooftops, telephone poles coming up fast.
Sure, the part that is scary of anything
is the ground coming to meet you
is the
at
smashing
terminal
in the
velocity.
Face. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine until literally the last second.
Yeah, that's how it works. I was praying I would not end up in one of those power lines and be fried. That's your problem.
How far from his launch site?
10 miles.
Okay.
The street where he landed was abuzz with activity. So he was helped down using a standard step ladder that people helped him down. The police, of course, and everyone else is there. They take him into a police car. And he says, I sat in a police car. This guy keeps looking at me, I assume police officer, and he finally says, Can I see your driver's license?
Of course, that is the first thing you ask. Were you
Always.
on the back of your license? You can have like driver, truck, small vehicle, a motorbike, lawn chair with balloons.
Random balloon artifact. Yeah. So he gives it to him and he says, the guy punches the information into his computer and they get back to him and he says, there's nothing here. You haven't done anything. You can go, but you'll be hearing from the FAA.
So they're just checking for past misdemeanors.
Parking violations.
Not what he actually did there. Get fucked, police.
But the police said, look, you'll be hearing from the FAA, their Federal Aviation Authority, yeah? So he's free to go. So at this point, the New Yorker Journal says to Carol, talking about the story, what happened to the chair? And Carol, according to the journal, talked in a rush of words. He gave it away to some kid on the street where it landed, about 10 miles from here. He gave it away.
Some kid.
Like, fuck, here you go, Jimmy. Take the thing. Larry said Carol gave him shit about this the whole way home. She was angry about this, and Carol said...
I want the lawn chair.
Well, no, she said that chair should be in the Smithsonian.
Or the local equivalent.
Smithsonian.
I don't think so.
The balloons, apparently, the firemen who were there, because of course all services were there, they tied some balloons to the end of their truck and went off like it was a birthday party, and Larry autographed a few bits of them.
Of course they did.
For people hanging out. It's like, yeah, I'll autograph that.
Fireys.
So the aftermath. It was interesting researching this because the numbers about the height and duration of his flight vary wildly depending on the source. Like,
also because they're probably depending a little bit on Larry's own recording of the thing.
It's crazy. Like some kind of drop in after 14 and a half hours and others go 2.5 hours in.
Yeah.
But what's very clear is it happened and it went well beyond his expectations, to say the least.
Did he have a fun time?
I think he did. He set a new altitude record for flying with gas-filled balloons, cluster balloons, but it was not officially recognized because his altimeter was the wrong kind of device.
The wrong kind of device.
It was the wrong one. No, not that one.
Fuck me.
You measured it wrong.
The elitism of the Guinness Book of Records. You didn't have the right.
I don't know if it was Guinness, but it was some fuckers who controlled.
I'm just blaming them. I'm just blaming them.
I always blame them.
Get fucked.
The FAA were pissed off.
Of course they were.
Really pissed off.
Air is ours. We are the air people.
Yeah,
we control air.
And they were like, I don't know what he's done, but it's wrong.
Civilians,
it's
exactly. And this one,
it's wrong.
But it's why they're also pissed at drones. Like they're like, air is ours.
Yeah.
Anything more than 4 meters above the ground, it's ours.
Ours. Get your hands off it, you bitches.
Get fucked.
They said, look, we can't take your pilot license because you don't have one. That's their standard go-to.
It's a good one though.
It is. So apparently they announced they would charge him as soon as they figured out what
the charge
he violated.
would be.
Yeah.
The charge.
Yep. Absolutely.
Get fucked. We will charge you when we find out if there's a
what crime? We'll find a way to crime you.
Cause you know that really screams of, and this is the thing. It must have triggered you.
I have no triggers.
No, but the we will find the crime against, because this seems wrong. It seems wrong that someone should just and yes, he's risking his own life, and maybe there's a little risk to other people, but not a lot.
It's the vibe.
But it seems crimey when he's not hurting anyone.
No. Fuck
me. And I am not a libertarian, but
no, and you're a fan of the FAA. You've often said that to me. You've often.
I don't know.
The number of times you said that.
You know, that people should be able to do their own dumb.
Yeah. Yes. So they finally worked something out. 17th of December, so the very end of the same year. They were going to fine him $4,000 for violating 4 regulations.
Which ones?
1. Operating a civil aircraft for which there is not currently in effect an airworthiness certificate.
The Wright brothers would have failed that.
Oh, that comes up. Creating a collision danger to other aircraft. And look.
The Wright brothers wouldn't have failed that.
No.
So.
They would have created a collision danger to people who were tall.
Yeah, there weren't any others. That's fine.
Entering an airport traffic area without establishing and maintaining two-way communications with the control tower.
Okay, fair enough.
And failing to take care to prevent hazards to the life and property of others. That's a bit generic.
No, but I do think he didn't take care. Like if he had done this, I'm sure in America there is an equivalent of an Australian area. There are plenty of areas in Australia where there is not anyone for a long
There
way.
is shit all forever.
Yeah. And if you did it out there, whatever.
Do what you want, champ.
I've heard Los Angeles has some people living in it. And
I've heard that too.
And so
There's
Perhaps-
a movie called Lots of People in Los Angeles.
Yeah, exactly. Launching from your girlfriend's mother's backyard is not quite. I'm doing this a long way from everyone
Larry says, fuck that, I'm challenging the fine. And he added,
because it was cool.
you're prescient. If the FAA was around when the Wright brothers were testing their aircraft,
They're goddamn yes.
they would never have been able to make their first flight at Kitty Hawk.
It would have been weird to have an FAA before the Wright brothers, though.
Yeah, we control the air. There's nothing in it. Birds.
But we still do. We still do. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
You shitty evil duck. You did it wrong. He also didn't have any cash to pay anyway because he'd spent all the money on the flight and he actually borrowed some money.
Okay.
So they started negotiating. So the FAA said, we'll drop charge 1 because his lawn chair didn't need an airworthiness certificate because it's a fucking lawn chair.
It's
not
I don't know what to say about that.
Well, it's true.
It was in the air, though.
Do you go to Bunnings and say, I'd like to buy this outside couch? Does it have an airworthiness certificate?
There was a few things more than the outside couch.
Some balloons.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in the air.
But they said, look, it's not that, so we're going to drop the fine from 4 to 3,000.
Okay.
Lawn chair Larry goes, look, I'll admit to failing to maintain the two-way contact with the airport.
Cool. That's fine.
And I'll pay $1,000 if you drop the other charges.
All right.
We'll go from 4 to 1. FAA, they finally say, look, we agree to accept a $1,500 payment because...
I love the frickin' bargaining.
I know,
bargaining
it's a
over your
fine.
crime. What crime did you commit? Well, let's negotiate a little bit.
Some kind of, but not really, a bit of
A bit of crime.
Yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous.
Medium crime. Oh, we'll take medium. All right. So long as you know that it was medium crime.
Well, they went to this point. The flight was potentially unsafe, they say, but he had not intended to endanger anyone.
Yeah. Look.
But I didn't mean it, mate.
Yeah. Like if yeah.
So the flight, of course, made him famous, but he made fuck all money.
What?
So he made a few $100 from TV gigs and a couple. He even went on Letterman and Johnny Carson.
Okay.
So there was some chat. And you can find video of the...
Did they pay him?
I assume some, but not a
I
lot.
doubt it. You know, I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it. Those shows are like, come on, this will be fun.
Give me money. It's like, I'm Letterman, get fucked.
Yeah.
But there, you can find the video. There's YouTube videos of Lawnchair Larry being interviewed. He made a bit of money as a motivational speaker. Piss all. Timex paid him $1,000 in '92 to appear in advertisements that featured, this is the quote, adventurous individuals wearing Timex watches. And that was the biggest chunk of change he made. $1,000
$1,000.
from Timex.
In 1992, obviously money had changed by then. It was, and 1992 was getting close to real money.
Oh yeah, $1,000 in '92 is about
$1,000 now.
$1,100.
Yeah.
Give or
But
take.
1982, it's vastly different.
Give or take. So after 10 years, he reckons he still hadn't even recouped the $4,000 he spent. But he didn't rule out the possibility of another flight. He said, look, we're looking to go to the Bahamas and some other options.
Cool.
depending
Go
on
over water and
Yeah.
sharks.
Yeah.
All I've ever heard about the Bahamas is the Bermuda
water and sharks.
water and sharks and the Bermuda Triangle. Like they're-
Lobsters.
No, never heard that. Never
Rum-
heard that.
rum.
Never heard that. I've
Rum.
heard you will fall off your chair and get eaten by a shark or a magnetic vortex that will take you into another dimension. So,
I like the other one. Like number 2 sounds all right.
but it could be both. Like it could be
I don't want both.
eaten by sharks
No.
into another dimension.
I only want B.
Still,
If I pay extra, can I
that's
just
not
get B?
that's not where I'm testing any of these things.
Look, unlike his lawn chair, things didn't keep going up for Larry after it all went down. So Larry and Carol broke up.
Aw.
Money was very tight.
How soon after?
It's hard to say. A few years maybe. It might have been.
Oh, look, relationships end.
Yeah, relationships end. Money got tight for him. He was really into camping and hiking. Like he freaking loved it. So he became a volunteer forest ranger in an area called the San Gabriel Mountains. He also became super religious, like mega religious.
Yes, that's what I assumed.
Unfortunately, he also, in 1993, he was at his favorite camping ground and he decided it's not worth it. So he
Oh,
killed himself. But apparently, according to one of his buddies, another volunteer ranger, he was actually in a very peaceful and happy place. Like it sounded like he was like, look, it's cool. I'm going to go now. So
okay.
as far as life-taking goes, it sounds like Larry's wasn't the worst that existed. But he did inspire people. So he never made another flight. But there was this guy called Kevin Walsh in 1984. He went up using 57 weather balloons strapped to his body, no lawn chair.
To his body.
Yep.
To his body.
To his body.
This one is on my dick.
Like, can you find another limb, sir?
What are you doing to your body?
Like, just not a chair.
One around your neck.
Yeah.
One. I've never.
I'm going to need extra piercings to attach weather balloons.
I have not thought that is the thing that you would do.
No.
Just strap them all.
He didn't want a chair. The chair's obviously the problem. But Kevin was wearing a parachute. I love this. The quote, he shot into the sky even faster than Larry did.
Oh, Jesus.
He hit the 1,000-foot mark in 12 seconds.
Jesus Christ.
12 seconds to get, 300 meters. He got to 6,000 feet, so 2,000 meters, 3,000 meters, in 2 minutes. He peaked at 9,000 feet after 4 minutes. So fucking fast.
Yeah.
But then a balloon popped, so he kind of wafted down to 6,000 feet again. He kind of settled in and had a look around.
Which way up is he facing?
Up.
He's looking up, and they're all tied to his body.
Yeah, it's odd.
If they're all tied to your body, are you?
I assume there's some kind of harnessy contraption.
Oh, okay. He's like sitting up straight, and they're tied to his.
Yeah, no, I like the.
So he's got it all around the groinal area.
Keep talking.
I don't know what more there is to say about that. Okay, that's fair enough. I was sort of imagining him like all tied to his limbs, either looking up or looking down, and not able to.
Like, what are they sadhus who hook themselves and they hang themselves from the hooks in the foot?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't like that. I think he probably had some kind of harness arrangement and the parachute. So he shoots up, the balloon pops, he's wafting around, but he deliberately wrapped his tether lines in foil so they'd show up on radar.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I know.
What, like a B2 engineer? Like
It worked though, because Boston, there's an airport in Boston called Logan, and they said it showed up on their radar, and the blip was the size of 3 stacked jetliners. So he looked like 3 planes.
Okay. Three stacked planes, which is weird.
We've got another situation where 3 planes are flying on top of each other. So after 45 minutes, he cuts the balloons, he parachutes down. And he said, Lawnchair Larry was his inspiration. I had to commend him for his ingenuity. That's when my dream hooked up with the reality. And Walsh, this guy, was also cited with...
Where was he? Was he in America?
Yeah, and he was cited for 4 violations by the FAA, and he was fined $4,000.
It's nice that they gave him the same amount.
Just like his hero. Finally, the epilogue. The reason I found this story was because of a small piece from the Smithsonian, because in around 2002, the kid who got the lawn chair, whose name is Jerry Fleck, donated it to them.
Fuck.
And it's on display out at that centre, Stephen F. Udzer Hazy Centre, the one that's out near Dulles Airport where they have the space shuttle, the Enola Gay, the Concorde.
We did a wholesome trip there one day, but
not in 2019.
And we didn't broadcast it to people.
It's a bummer though, because the chair is there.
God damn it, Larry. All right,
so
good on you.
So it got to the Smithsonian.
Good on you, Larry. You made it. Do you have a desire to do this?
Not even a bit. Not at all.
No, 0%?
Oh, it's 0%. Parachuting, yep. Strapping myself to a piece of furniture from the hardware store with balloons.
I admire the follow through because I understand the dream. A little bit of me.
Why? We should quote you. I admire the follow through because I understand the dream.
It's a big quote.
William Q. Grantiskness.
I know. Because I admire the actual follow through on the dumb idea because I have a fuck ton of dumb ideas.
Yeah.
And there's the bit when 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, all right, that was a dumb one. That was a dumb one. Or, oh, that was a good one. We'll file that in,
another day.
Or send that in the email to work. That's most of the good ideas are, whatever.
This will make my work life easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Occasionally there's this kind of thing. And it's like,
every now and then you drop a pearl at 3 a.m.
They followed through. Hats off to them.
That is one of his quotes, and I admitted it, but I should have said it's like a lot of people have dreams, but no one follows through. That was literally one of his quotes.
There you go.
That's a great tale. But yes, sources. Smithsonian archives talking about the weirdest things in their thing. There's one about from Medium, The Strange, Sad Odyssey of Lawnchair Larry. The big one I called on was the man in the flying lawn chair from the New Yorker, and there are a bunch of others which you can see in our show notes. But it's like the weirdest thing about them was there are so many conflicting numbers. No one denies the story. Oh, actually, one source from Snopes denied-ish the story, but not quite. They're like, oh, there's a lot of stories about it and none of them are true, but some of them are, and here's a story. And I'm like, well, you didn't tell me.
No,
if
you
this was
can't.
true or not.
You can't contradict Snopes.
No, I wouldn't.
Whatever they do is the true version.
I was just saying I was confused by them. I would never contradict Snopes. We love you, Snopes. What's Snopes?